Welcome, Gemini, to the month of August 2017. And this is going to be yet another very exciting month for a lot of us, especially since there is going to be a partial and total lunar eclipse. So let's get on with the reading. Mercury, your ruling planet, starts out this month in your fourth house of the home and later on enters Leo. But I'll get into more of that shortly in a moment. And so Uranus, however, starts out the month on August 3rd in your 11th house at 5 minutes 32 seconds. And this poses an interesting dichotomy, because Aries is a fire sign, and with the planet Uranus, an air sign like yourself, going retrograde, there's a potential for reassessing your goals and or friendships or wishes and whatever you feel like you need to reassess. Then Jupiter in your fifth house of romance and creativity squares Pluto in your eighth house of sex, death, and taxes. And this may come as maybe a challenge for you, but it may also mean that if you don't want to procreate, you may want to take extra precautions, as there may be major transformations concerning procreation or any other issues concerning the fifth house of children and romance. Or there could be a sudden, challenging, or frictional goings on between those two houses. Then on August the 7th, there is a full moon coming up. There is a full moon in Aquarius in your ninth house, and that full moon ends up being at 15 degrees 25 minutes in your ninth house of religion, philosophy, and higher learning, as well as that's when we have on the very same day, that's when we have a partial lunar eclipse. And here, because there's a full moon and a partial lunar eclipse, there is the potential likelihood of a great emphasis having to do with your ninth house. And with the two of these together on August the 7th. Then Uranus semi-squares Neptune in your 10th house of career at a 45-degree angle on August 11th. Then Mercury goes retrograde again on August 13th in your fourth house of the home. So you may need to hold off on any spending or expenditures or purchases for the home. And because you may want to, because of a retrograde, there's a tendency to either overspend or regret buying something or thinking about buying something later. So hold off for at least a couple of weeks. And then the moon goes into the last quarter phase on August 15th in your 12th house in Taurus. And you can come to terms with your dreams or heal something psychologically with your subconscious mind, and any kind of mental misgivings, or I'm not really quite sure how that would go about for you, because this is a general reading. And let's see, then the new moon happens on August 21st in your third house of communications, along with all of these other planets creating a stellium. That's when there's so many planets, and in this case, the north node of the moon in Leo, the sun, Mars, and now the new moon, all in your third house of communications. So you can be sure there will be a lot of talkative interchanges, but be watchful, because your ruling planet Mercury is retrograde. Then on that very same day, August 21st, we end up having a total lunar eclipse, also in your third house of communications. So there is a greater need to merge with others, be more tactful, or understand others in the conscious form of communication, and be mindful not to be too hasty with what you say. And let's see, then on August 22nd, the sun moves into the sun moves into Virgo, into your fourth house of the home at 22 hours 21 minutes. And so your home will be quite highlighted. Then the moon, and when it enters Virgo, it will end up sextiling Venus in your second house of money. So the moon in Virgo sextiles Venus in Cancer. Having said that, you may want to take new thought patterns in your reassessing your love of spending, perhaps curtail it a tiny bit, and be careful that too much spending can fritter away your finances. Then, since Saturn has been retrograde in your seventh house of relationships since last April 6th of 2017, it now goes direct on August 25th. And here you can take some concrete, or go ahead and manifest your dream of your possible marriage, wedding, perhaps, proposals, weddings taking place. Things can become more manifest and concrete in relationships or business partners. Then Venus enters Leo in your third house of communications, so you'll really love expressing yourself even more. Then Jupiter sextiles Saturn on August 27th, and between the 5th and the 7th houses. So with this sextile, you'll have even more of a major opportunity to either begin a new romance or make or solidify your existing partnership, or wedding, reignite your wedding vows, or just making sure commitments are followed through on. But because of this sextile, it'll be such a harmonious experience for most of you. Then the moon goes into its first quarter on August 29th in Sagittarius at 6 degrees 11 minutes, also making things or beginning things, not just from a new moon standpoint, but now that it's in its first quarter, you can take things and take off with even more of a concrete commitments to others. And then Mercury enters Leo while it's been going retrograde after a short time until September 4th. Then it goes direct again on September 5th, but in the meantime, it goes retrograde again on August 31st, going back into your third house of communications and creating more of an opportunity to express or reassess all communications via the internet, texting, either through short distance travels or long distance through the internet. And so that should be all of this, all of August, most all of August, Gemini, should be quite fruitful in terms of communication, because there is a good feeling from my feelings of this standpoint here that this is a good time to reassess with it retrograde and just take in the total picture and not worry, not to worry about anything. Just watch your nervous system though, so that you don't overdo it in communication. And you may want to meditate even. It's a good time to meditate. So that being said, have a wonderful August. Please feel free to like, share, and or subscribe. Thank you very much, Gemini.